All right, today we're going to unpack a really clever strategy for creating content that sounds like you've got a whole team of researchers on staff, but, without all the heavy lifting. Think of it as a simple, powerful shortcut to really building your authority.
You know that feeling, right? You're putting out content, you're trying to be helpful, but it just feels like it's getting lost in this huge sea of other opinions. You're trying so hard to stand out, to sound like a real expert, but man, it is tough to break through all that noise. And this really shows you the difference right here. On one side, you've got your generic content, it's full of common opinions, vague claims like, oh, experts say. But then, look at the other side. Authoritative content that's built on specific data, hard numbers, and the simple power of being able to say statistics show, that's where you shift gears from just having an opinion to stating a fact.
And here is the absolute key. You don't have to go out and spend thousands of dollars on market research to get this kind of data. The real secret is just knowing where to look for the information that's already out there, just kind of waiting to be found. And that brings us to this stuff, private label rights content, or PLR. Now, you've probably heard of it. It's basically pre-written content, articles, reports that you can buy the rights to and legally use as your own. But we are going to look at it in a totally new way.
So forget about the articles themselves. The real value isn't in copying and pasting some text. No way. The big idea here is to stop seeing PLR as just ready-made content and start seeing it for what it really is, a pre-built database of information, custom-made for your niche.
And this right here perfectly illustrates that mindset shift. We're not looking for paragraphs to borrow. We are literally panning for gold. We're on the hunt for those little nuggets of data, the statistics, the percentages, the figures that are buried inside all these reports.
So how do you actually do it? Well, it's a surprisingly simple three-step method for turning all that PLR into real authority.
Okay, first you get your hands on some PLR content that's laser-focused on your niche. Then, step 2, you scan through it with just one goal: find the numbers. You're not reading for the beautiful prose. You're hunting for percentages, dollar amounts, survey results, anything with a digit. And finally, you extract them. You just pull out the raw data and its source into a simple list. That's it. You've just built your own personal data goldmine.
Okay, so you've mined the data. Now comes the really fun part, taking that raw material and forging it into high-value content that makes you look like the expert you are.
Let's just walk through a quick example. Imagine you're scanning a PLR report about workplace trends, and you pull out just one single statistic. That's it, just one.
That one stat, a 45% increase in remote work adoption, is pure potential. I mean, look at this. It becomes the cornerstone of a big state-of-the-industry blog post. It becomes a super powerful shareable data point for an infographic, and you can easily spin it into a quick, attention-grabbing post for social media. All of that from just one piece of data that you didn't even have to research yourself.
This is exactly why this method is such a game changer. It completely flips the script on content creation. It's all about getting the maximum possible impact from the absolute minimum amount of effort.
Seriously, just think about the power of one.
Because as you can see here, one single statistic is not just one piece of content. It can be spun out into a long-form post, multiple social media updates, a key visual for an infographic, but most importantly, it becomes the very foundation of your authority. The return on that tiny, tiny bit of effort is just massive.
And this, right here, is the end game. When you start weaving data into your work like this, you make a critical shift. You stop being just another content creator with an opinion, and you become a go-to source, an industry authority who actually backs up what they say with real facts.
So the only question left to ask is, what hidden data is waiting in your niche right now? What statistical gold is just sitting there, waiting for you to find it and build your authority? The mine is officially open.